south heart of Europe, there is a secret nation. You'll find it east of Italy, south of Austria, and west of Hungary. It has its own language, it has its own flag, it even has a national anthem. It's a one-party state. That party is communist. What's interesting at the moment is that dissent is bubbling over. The buzzword now is democratization, and in the fight for it, the gloves are coming off. The way the map is drawn these days, the secret nation is a part of Yugoslavia. But ask anyone in these streets down here, and they'll tell you we're in Ljubljana, capital of the Republic of Slovenia.
Moscow, you could probably pay for the cost of your holiday by taking a few pairs of trusty 501s with you and flogging them off to the Western culture-hungry locals. But here in Ljubljana, no one's going to try and rip the jeans off your body, unless perhaps your name's Nick Kamen, of course. It may surprise you to find that you can buy absolutely anything you want here, from Dunhill to Lacoste to Playboy. This is not a city of food queues and drab clothes. In fact, you might even see Slovenians cruising through the countryside in their BMWs on their way to their yachts and villas by the sea. But as any young Slovenian will tell you, these trappings of luxury are the remnants of the halcyon days of socialism, when Tito ruled and life was good. Now, with a 200% inflation rate and a crippled economy, the party's over. Despite the fact that Slovenia is supposedly the richest of the 6 Yugoslavian republics, these glittering prizes are forever out of the reach of this generation. For them, life gets tougher as the dinar plummets. But it's not all economic doom and gloom. The young people here are really making an effort to do things. There's an excellent art and music scene, and there's even a burgeoning fashion industry. You're the John Peel of Slovenia, and you've been DJing for 10 years, right? So what sort of changes have you seen here in youth culture and music in that time?
So yeah, generally speaking, it's youth culture and music went from being, let's say, a culture of resistance, a counterculture, you could say, also an underground marginal culture that was limited to whatever, small clubs, you know, just, okay, radio student and a small independent radio station, and things like that, to becoming quite important. Actually, now, it's what I would term an alternative culture, you know, the culture that can actually stand on its own and actually change, you know, become the new dominant of, or one of the dominant types of youth culture.
Yeah. What's some Slovenian bands actually, I mean, are successful here?
You could divide it in two parts. One is like, let's say, rock music for domestic consumption, which would be like more or less standard, you know, rock and roll, hard rock, whatever, pop rock.
Yeah.
You know. And then there is the bands who develop their own identity, like Laibach, for example. Life is life. Life is life.
What British and American bands specifically are successful here?
Well, okay, I can give you, let's say, a few examples of what I played recently on my radio show. It was like, you know, Iggy Pop, and then the Jesus and Mary Chain, for example, and whatever. smiths in the old times and cult mission. They have had quite a big concert here in Ljubljana, the mission.
Very successful here is heavy metal. Why do you think that's so huge here?
Well, I think it's because we are so close to the Iron Curtain. You know?
The spiritual home of the paninari is in the land. Time was when you could find any number of them hanging around outside the panino or sandwich bars. Rich kids with a taste for Tacchini, Lacoste and Fred Perry sportswear. And to set off the look, of course, the essential Vespa. These days, you're hard-pressed to find genuine panino kids in Milan. The cult has moved on. Where do you get your ideas for fashion and style?
Magazines, almost magazines, German, also in French.
What about the Italian? Because you do look like the paninari.
Italian, no, not especially in Italian, almost in Germany.
How important is it for you to have one of these mopeds or a Vespa?
Well, yeah, for us it's not important what kind of motor you have. It's important you have motor for me or for my friends. I don't know for others, but you have to move from one place to another. Well, if you have a Vespa or something stronger, it's better, you know.
Communism kakšnih popularnih zahodnih dizajnov. Slovenska moda je industrijsko dolgočasje ene totalno brezspolne in brezbarvne konfekcije.
Stila Rubens je znak urbane identitete oblačene, ne pa kakršnekoli slovenske ali vse zahodne mode.
Kar je slovenskega v ustvarjanju Stile Rubens je le zeitgeist, ustvarjanje v prisotnosti pozitivnih demokratičnih tendenc mladine in pozitivnih sprememb demokratizacij slovenske družbe.
Stila Rubens kreira obleko kot erogeno cono.
Stila Rubens kreira oblačila za prihajajoče generacije, se pravi za prihodnost, ki je črna.
In črna je čudovita
barva.
Slovenia has never actually been a separate state, the thing that's very liable to earn you a smack in the mouth from any Ljubljančan is if you call them Yugoslavian and not Slovenian. What do you consider yourselves to be?
We live here in Slovenia, we can say we are Slovenian.
Yes, the same, but we are also Yugoslavian. No.
I was wrong. They don't mind being called Yugoslavian.
Slovenes. I'm Slovenian. Slovenian.
Slovenca.
Slovenca.
Oh, Slovenian.
This is Mlarina. It's a student magazine. But unlike other student rags elsewhere, Mlarina carries Big Cloud. It's become the focus for alternative points of view here in Slovenia. Earlier this year, for example, they tugged the beard of authority by printing a story about arms sales to Ethiopia. Today, two of their editors and a journalist are in front of a military court down there, facing charges of passing army secrets. It's become something of a cause célèbre, and it's also become embroiled in the wider question of Slovenian nationalism. As far as the crowd here are concerned, the whole thing's a big setup. For many years, Mladina was the official young communist magazine. The word itself means youth. But in the early 80s, it took a new direction, questioning the official line followed by most of the media. In February, Goraz Suhadolnik's Ethiopian arms story resulted in the resignation of Defense Minister Mamala.
Officials in our country became really crazy about it. Also, our chief of staff member of staff had to go to the court because of offending our ex-defense minister.
The current trial resulted from a raid on Mladina's offices when the police found secret documents. The journalists claimed they were planted.
We didn't know that David Tasic was arrested the day before. They asked us where is David Tasic's desk. We showed them. They were interested just in his desk, not other desk in the office. First, they looked into the boxes, and after 2 or 4 minutes, they started to look into the folders, open folders, and after a few seconds, one policeman held the paper in his hand, and he shouted, "Well, that's it." I think there are two versions. Maybe they set up this paper the night before, or they set up this paper just in the time of the investigation. Because we were very naive, we were really sure that there is nothing.
Tasic's arrest was the third made in connection with the leak of military secrets. Also accused were a prominent human rights campaigner, Janusz Janša, and Ivan Borsner, a low-ranking army officer. A fourth man, Franzi Zavaro, escaped detention by seeking sanctuary in a mental hospital. He nevertheless had to face the court. The arrests provoked some of the biggest demonstrations ever seen in Slovenia, but many felt a run-in with the authorities was inevitable given Mladina's style.
We try to find, things out for ourselves, we're not trying to reproduce, things. We try to be productive, creative in this investigative, muckraking sense, But on the other hand, we try to do a paper which is also very much analytical. Analytical in means of social and political, reality.
What, in your opinion, is being tried in the military court today?
I think that basically it is tried to all achievements, of Slovenian democracy, which is very special. All achievements worked out, let's say about in last, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. open civil society, freedom of speech, freedom of right, free journalism, open, democratization of media, and so on. These are achievements which are on trial now.
Ljubljana is a beautiful city, but it's not exactly brimming over with tourist entertainment, but that's all changing. The cobbled streets here in the centre of the old town are all banned to traffic now, and there are pavement cafes springing up all over the place. This is all the work of a group of people who've got together to form the Society for the Revival of the Cultural Image of the Old Town Centre. And Matash, who's from the society, is going to tell us all about this, aren't you, Matash? What's the idea behind the society?
Osnovna ideja je bila to, da se to mesto očisti, nesnage in da se ponovno oživi na čas, kot je bilo to prejšnjo stoletje, ko je bilo tukaj celotno slovensko življenje, v bistvu se je dogajalo v tem delu mesta.
Are you trying to encourage tourism?
V končni fazi tudi to, samo v prvi vrsti pa smo mi zdaj naredili to za Ljubljančane.
There is actually a problem here, which is that none of the bars stay open very late, and there's not much nightlife to be had. How will you deal with that?
Na današnji dan smo prejeli pismo, v katerem nam sporoča Turistična zveza in pa občina, da bodo lokali v starem delu mesta odprti do polnoči. Upam, da se bodo tega držali.
Do you not think that if you have a big influx of tourists into Ljubljana, it will destroy the charm of the city?
Jaz sem tukaj lahko dam sam svoje osebno mnenje. In moje to osebno mnenje je to, da preveč turizma bi uničil staro Ljubljano. Zato je prav in tudi lepo je, da jih je toliko, kar jih je zdaj, mogoče še malo več.
There is a breed of joke doing the rounds at the moment, the victim of which is the luckless East European car. The make doesn't matter. It could be a Skoda, Polski Fiat, a Lada, or even the Yugo. So here's a typical example, both of the car and the joke. What do you call a convertible Yugo? Give up? A skip. No, wait, there's more. How do you double the value of a Yugo? Everybody, all together? With petrol! My, that was funny. So this might not be everybody's idea of a dream car, but it's cheap, it gets from A to B more often than not, and when you consider that you can pay up to 200% tax on an imported car, you can see why suddenly it becomes an attractive proposition. Besides, you know, people who crack Yugo jokes often drive Austin Allegros, Ford Fiestas, Vauxhall Novas, Talbot Horizons.
No, it's of my father. My father's yacht.
Oh, right. Now, we would always have the impression that in a socialist country, people can't afford or aren't allowed to have things like yachts. Maybe that's very naive.
In Slovenia, who work hard, I think he can buy everything. Yeah.
Is it true, though, that now people can't accumulate money here because if you save dinar, they devalue so fast that it's not worth saving? So everyone buys luxury things if they can.
Yes, because the things are not the value of things is not coming down. The value of things here is at the same level of other countries.
Oh yes, other currencies.
Yes,
yeah.
Other currencies.
Where are you from?
We are from Slovenia, from Novo Mesto.
And you come here for your holidays every year?
No, I'm first time here. I like this place. It's pretty because you can buy everything if you want.
When I come from Germany to here, it's very cheap.
A lot of strangers because our people, they don't have enough money because here is expensive for us. The sea is not very good, I think.
The water is good. The sun is shining.
I think it's good for children and for families, not for young people like me.
So tourism is really the way to make enough money here to afford a good lifestyle.
Who not dealing with tourism is not in the same conditions like us. He lives good life, but not in this, not in this time.
nice.
It might be pretty, but it's Italian style.
If we can get the camera over here, look. Can I just show you some Dunar? Because I think, I mean, the nice thing about Dunar is that you change the fibre and you get about 500,000. Now here we have, okay.
That's worth just over a quid, that one, 5,000. So
but it makes you feel really rich. That's the nice thing about Dunar.
You're carrying around lots of notes, which are all worth 20p. In the hotel, in the place we were in today, they don't, a lot of places here, they don't accept dinar. You must give them half.
You made a mistake there, because those are the duty-free bars, but this one will.
No, it wasn't a duty-free place. It was just it was just selling suntan.
Well, let's just try our luck here, shall we?
Okay.
What is in these? Red wine. Coca-Cola. Are you serious? Coca-Cola. Red wine and Coca-Cola. Okay.
But I made the right choice. I think I did.
Oh, yours is orange juice and red wine. Yeah, well, that's self-explanatory. Okay, well, bottoms up. Juice. Lo and behold,
a sunset.
Far from the madding throng.
They're not thronging all that much anymore, actually.
What in particular do you like about Porto Roche as a holiday?
The food and the nightlife here.
You can go as you are and you can be relaxed all the time if you want that.
We didn't know where we were going. We came here. We're glad we came here, actually.
What do you like about it?
It's a lot of nightlife.
Do you think it's too crowded?
Sometimes maybe. I think that in the last years it has been, but before I didn't think it was.
So it's picking up as a tourist spot, is it?
Yeah.
How long do the discos stay open?
2 to 4 in the morning.
And are they cheap?
Yes, very cheap.
Well, the first question I have to ask you is why you're wearing that stupid hat.
Why are we wearing a stupid hat? Oh, it's a mascot, you know. It's for football games in Holland.
Oh, you come from Holland?
Yes.
Okay, what are you doing here then?
A holiday. Bye guys. See you next year.
Is Bulgaria a pop group?
Yes, of course, we are a pop group, but I think in a special way because half of the members are video makers, half of the members are musicians, you know, and we don't work in this industrial way because we try to have control over the whole process from the beginning till the end. Our influences are rather international in fact now, so sound is, I don't consider it as Slovenian, but on the other side we are very conscious about situation, what's going on here, and this is the other one feedback from the scene here, especially student radio, student cultural center. These institutions are very important for us.
But in the actual sound, what is it that describes Borgesia?
Sound and picture, of course. It's very. We try to be very digital. I mean, very modern, but with emotions and feelings of the rock and roll music. It means guitar music. So this is what we are trying to mix. In fact, this rock and roll feeling with modern technology now.
I've been here times before when I was too blind to see that you seduce every man, just how you won't seduce me. You're saying that's okay, hey baby, do as you please. I have the stuff that you want, I am the thing that you need. She looked me deep in the eyes, she touching me so to stop. She says there's no turning back, she got me yelling,
sunny Ljubljana, where hand in hand we used to stroll along the streets that cross this pretty town. Can you imagine the sleepy old houses where every corner seems to hide unspoken dreams of all the years that passed? Got lost within another world, where through the dust of time, the eyes of the past would stare, silent stony faces, way up high turning their heads, as we were walking by. Do you remember the sun?
Slowenische Kunst. Art and totalitarianism don't exclude each other. Totalitarian regimes abolish the illusion of a revolutionary individual artist freedom. Neue Slowenische Kunst is based on the principle of a conscious abandonment of personal taste, judgments, convictions, voluntary depersonalization, the willing adoption of ideology, and the unmasking and recapitulation of the regime of postmodernism. Tell us about NSK.
This is the structure, the organogram of the organization, which is organized as a state with the different sectors: music department, painting department, and theater. That means Laibach, and Scipion, with also others. And the idea of the whole NSK is to unite the different kind of section of art and social activities, which are also close to art, with the idea of a total art, or Gesamtkunstwerk. Irving is a group of 5 painters who work together for about 5 years on the same idea. Irving has a position that 5 is more than 1, and we work collectively or individually on the works. We are not signing our works. Our work is collectively signed with the title Irving. Irving thinks that there is no a bad work of art, that there just exist unfinished works of art. And the way how we work is that we discuss like a Greek philosopher in the garden, and in the end we decide for one idea. And it's not a strict plan if 1 or 5 is working on it.
You use a lot of Nazi imagery in your art. Are you fascists?
We are using very different kind of styles and principles in art, as well as we are using the social realism, American pop art, British imperial realism, Nazi Kunst, informel, the new image. And we use this, we treat this as one kind of motifs taken from the culture, because we believe that everything what's happened in art and in the history is important, so we include everything inside. Laibach is a music section. Laibach began in 1918 in Terboglia, the minor city in Terboglia. Then Laibach continued activity on the East European tour, and then also came to the Western Europe, as is also England. And Laibach is the Irving represents the chronist or art, and the theater religion. Laibach represents ideology.
Nicht falsch, nicht recht. Ich sage dir, das Schwarz und Weiß ist kein Beweis. Nicht tot, nicht Not. Wir brauchen bloß ein Leibbild für die Welt. Ein Fleisch, ein Blut, ein wahrer Glaube. Eine Rasse und ein Traum, ein starker Wille. Jawohl, ja. Ja, ja, jawohl.
Are the newest group indeed in Slovenische Kunst, and the builders are taking care about architecture, urbanism inside NSK. They are projecting also the new ideas for the new cities, galleries, then probably some kind of festival, concert halls, and they are doing as well as on theoretical, they are doing also on a practical level.
Have they built anything with all this?
Not yet. I said to you, there are new groups, they work maybe about 2 years, but they're developing their concepts.
The number you have reached has been disconnected.
took an Alfa Romeo Spider sports car, miniaturized it, and rebuilt it as a telephone, it'd probably end up looking like one of these things. It wasn't dreamt up in the design studios of Milan or Munich. This is the Iskra Elektronski Telefonski Apparat, and it's pure homegrown Slovenian, which hasn't stopped it winning 6 international design awards. It's one of the most copied phone designs in the world. And to anyone with an eye for these things, it's not so much a phone as an object of beauty.
Military service in Yugoslavia is the highest duty and honor of each male citizen. And in Constitution, it is this is clearly defined. There is no right for conscientious objection, and so there is no legal provision for those who object to military service. But there is no, at the same time, there is no law in penalty code. There is no article in penalty code which would incriminate an act of objection to the military service, and this is why they would, for those persons who do not come to military units when they are called into military unit, the military police would take them into military unit, and they would offer them uniform and arms. When they object to wear uniform and when they object to take arms, this would mean that they do not obey a military order. So objectors become military persons, soldiers, forcibly, because they are forcibly taken into military unit. Objectors are punished repeatedly, and this comes in total sum up to 15 years of prison. So once you come from the prison for the first time, you are called into military unit again. You can be called into military unit again, and so you are liable to punishment again. And it can repeat till you are 30 years old. Most of objectors would not object authentically, as we say, because they risk too much. They risk all their youth, in fact. And so most of objectors would use a sort of avoiding military service. And I would say that most of people, we don't have any figures on this, most of people, lots of my friends, they would go to the military unit, and there they would play sort of game, malade imaginaire. They would act as ungrown-up people. They would make jokes or something like that, and then they would be released after a few weeks. Those who object authentically are mainly members of Jehovah's Witnesses, of religious sects, right, like Jehovah's Witnesses, Nazarenes, Anabaptists, and so on. They would object authentically, what means that they would say at the court, no, we do not want to serve military service because we follow the path of Jesus Christ, or something like that. So, but there is quite a large number of such people, and in Slovenia, for example, about 20 people are in prison all the time. Then there is another way to avoid military service, which is also very frequently used, and this is emigration. There are lots of young people who emigrated to avoid military service. There is a whole community of the Jehovah's Witnesses who live in Austria, and they emigrated to avoid. And of course there is another category of people who avoid military service, and those are people who psychologically could not survive this pressure, and they commit suicide. For me, this is a preparation for next millennium. I don't see my way in your terms. I see no danger in them. I just live these things.
Has anyone ever suggested that you should see a psychiatrist?
Never.